Every year, the camera world has at least one rumor cycle that spirals into something bigger, something that refuses to cool down. And right now, that swirling cloud of excitement is forming around one name: Sony A7S IV. It's been years since the A7S III set the benchmark for low-light shooting and hybrid reliability, and creators have been demanding an update ever since. Whispered specs, prototype sightings, surprising interviews, and even a few industry slip-ups have taken the hype from lukewarm curiosity to white-hot anticipation. And honestly, it feels like we're entering that moment when the puzzle pieces start clicking together. Something is happening behind the scenes, and whatever Sony is planning next for its legendary S line, Sony A7S IV is shaping up to be one of the biggest releases of 2026. The A7S line has always been shrouded in a different type of secrecy. Unlike the A7R models, which get predictable refresh cycles, the S series appears only when Sony feels it's absolutely necessary. That's why even the smallest leaks carry weight, because they don't happen often. And in the last few weeks, they've been happening a lot. The first meaningful whispers came from component suppliers in early 2025, claiming Sony was testing a new low-megapixel sensor with dramatically improved dynamic range. This immediately sent the community buzzing. Was Sony sticking to the classic 12-megapixel philosophy, or bumping things up just enough to stay competitive? It seems the latter might be true. Several insiders hinted that the A7S IV could land somewhere between 12 and 20 megapixels, enough to maintain low light supremacy while offering a small resolution bump for still shooters. Then came the codec chatter. According to multiple video-focused insiders, Sony has been experimenting with new heat management materials similar to what appeared in the A12 prototypes. If that's true, this opens the door for higher bitrate workflows, extended recording times, and possibly even 8K recording, though most believe Sony will limit that to avoid cannibalizing the flagship line. More realistic speculation includes 4K 120 without crop, 4K 240 with a manageable crop, and 10-bit 422 in all modes, an upgrade that feels overdue. And here's where the heat metaphor becomes literal. One leak claims Sony is aggressively testing thermals for extended cinema-level sessions. That phrase alone sent forums into a frenzy. It suggests Sony is preparing the A7S IV to compete more directly with compact cine cameras like the FX3 II and Panasonic S1H successors. The goal seems obvious: push the hybrid body as far as possible without stepping on the cinema line's identity. Autofocus improvements are also a near certainty. Early firmware notes from developers referenced a one-tier AF logic, hinting at AI-driven subject detection, improved tracking in low-contrast environments, and potentially a new focus architecture tailored for fast-moving scenes. If Sony truly ports its flagship AF into the A7S IV, it could redefine what mirrorless cameras can achieve in unpredictable, documentary-style lighting. Another hot topic is global shutter. It's unlikely. Global shutters remain expensive and power-hungry, but the growing number of mentions suggests Sony may introduce something near global, with significantly reduced rolling shutter. Even a partial improvement would be huge, especially for handheld shooters and gimbal users. Finally, there's the design leak. Multiple people have now claimed Sony is testing a slightly thicker body with a larger passive cooling system and a deeper grip. That's a first for the S line, which has always favored compact form factors. If true, Sony might be embracing the idea that creators want reliability over minimalism. Put all these leaks together, and you can feel the temperature rising around the A7S IV. Something big is cooking. The days when Sony could dominate the video-centric camera market with minimal pushback are gone. Competing brands are swinging hard, and the A7S IV isn't entering an empty arena. It's stepping into a full-on war zone. Canon has finally woken up in the low-light domain. Rumors point to an upcoming EOS R5 Mark II with improved thermal handling. And the still mysterious Canon EOS R1X is rumored to pack some incredible video capabilities. Even Canon's mid-range models like the R6 III have already shown that Canon can deliver stable, reliable 4K recording for long sessions. If Canon decides to drop a dedicated video-focused R-series model, Sony will feel the pressure. Panasonic is arguably the biggest threat. Their recent resurgence with new color science, improved autofocus, and aggressive pricing makes them a serious reel again. The anticipated Lumix S2H or whatever comes next could bring 6K/8K performance, high bitrate internal codecs, and unmatched dynamic range. Panasonic's momentum is real, and filmmakers are paying attention. Nikon, meanwhile, has evolved rapidly. Their Z-series cameras, especially the Z6 III and Z8, proved they understand video shooters. Nikon now offers incredible color science, excellent heat management, and flexible codecs. If Nikon pushes further into the cinema-leaning hybrid market, Sony won't be able to ignore them anymore. But the wildcard is Sony's own competition, the cinema line. With the FX3 II on the horizon and the FX6 II not far behind, the A7S IV will need to offer something compelling but carefully limited. Sony must protect its tiered lineup while still giving creators a meaningful upgrade. That balancing act is trickier than it sounds, and let's not forget the smartphone world. Devices like the iPhone Pro Max, Sony Xperia Pro models, and flagship Android phones are absorbing many casual filmmakers. Mirrorless cameras must offer enough dynamic range, lens flexibility, and low-light performance to stay relevant against rapidly improving computational video. All of this puts the A7S IV in a high-pressure environment. It needs to be more than just a refresh. It must be a statement. When people say Sony is in danger, they don't mean the company is failing. Far from it. Sony's camera division is still incredibly strong, but what is in danger is Sony's long-held image as the undisputed leader in mirrorless video. The competition has caught up, and in some areas surpassed them. Sony's recent releases have been safe, solid, reliable, but not groundbreaking. Meanwhile, competitors are taking bolder risks. Canon revamped its entire autofocus logic. Panasonic achieved a full redemption arc. Nikon made one of the best hybrid cameras of the year. And on top of that, Fujifilm continues to deliver film-inspired innovation in a space everyone thought they'd abandoned. Creators notice this shift. Many filmmakers have openly admitted that if Sony doesn't bring a wow factor with the A7S IV, they might switch systems. Not because Sony is bad, but because others are pushing harder. Sony's biggest challenge is its own success. When you're the company known for setting standards, expectations skyrocket. The A7S IV isn't allowed to be good. It needs to be exceptional. Otherwise, the momentum could start shifting. And let's be honest, Sony's silence is adding to the pressure. The longer they wait, the more expectations inflate. By the time they reveal it, the S-line will be held to almost impossible standards. But at the same time, silence can be a strategy. Sony may be waiting deliberately, preparing something disruptive enough that the wait feels justified. The question is, will it be enough to keep Sony at the top of the video game? There's a reason the excitement around the Sony A7S IV keeps building. This isn't just another camera release. It's a defining moment for Sony's reputation in the filmmaking community. And possibly the most important S-series launch since the original A7S. The competition is fierce. Creator expectations are higher than ever. And the hybrid camera market is reaching a turning point where every release matters more than the last. So yes, things are definitely heating up. And if Sony plays this right, the A7S IV could very well become the camera that resets the standard once again, just like the original A7S did years ago. What do you think? Share with us in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.